Hello, this is KRBrickBot, and now that we looked at the fire and ambulance mini crew Carbot, and now it's time for the police one. Mini Ricops. The secondary color is blue, pink, and yellow. The illustration may actually differ from the product for this one. Back of the box is typical fare. One robot, one weapon. And the front view of the car is much bigger and stretched out than what it actually is and how it's actually stacked. Mini Ricops is looking like a armored police vehicle, just like his bigger toy and character model. It does have a pretty fair amount of paint apps, like the silver painted grille, the little yellow headlights, the red light bar. All of the windows are picked out in dark orange. Even these side windows, when they were just completely hollow, because it actually had an interior, but instead of that it has painted windows, which is a nice trade-off. Police printed in big font right across the side. It looks a little bigger here than on the bigger toy, which makes this more readable. The back is the robot bits, a little bit of a seating area that a little too small to seat any sort of figures, really. Simplified side railings. And also simplified in his 4 working wheels and 2 fake wheels. It's a 6-wheeler, but he gets 2 fake wheels. His Wavemate has 6 working wheels. And even the Wave 1 Storm has 8 perfectly working wheels. I guess they're just extra joints in Ricops so that he just cannot afford full functioning wheels. And the other point of major simplification is his one gun cannon. It's just one, it's not twin gray cannons. But at least you can kind of make him go tank and just turn this thing full around, provided it doesn't pop off. It has a 3mm port, but for some reason the connection is actually like a ring. It has an extra ring around it which goes over this ringed bit. Yeah, it does hold, but nudge it too much and it just goes pop right off, because for some reason, as if the square tabs in this was not enough to hold it together, somehow it looks like this is needed to hold the roof a little bit closer together. Yeah, that is a strange connection point. And apparently that needed extra reinforcement via the weapon, so that's inconvenient. Other than those 2 issues, I guess this is a fine enough Hot Wheels sized police van thing. It's very simple. It just has police and light bar to indicate it's a police vehicle. Not much else really tells it it's a police vehicle. Car comparison. Prime Master, Battle Master, Micromaster, Micromeister, Carbot Workmate, Diarobo Nissan, Bumblebee, Core Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Hot Rod, Crash Combiner, Mini Tobot, Mini Coon, and Ramp. Mini Transformation. Easy pop of the weapon. Flip out the feet. Flip this out. You see how these are connected by square tabs? Apparently, for some reason, they don't hold the top of it perfectly flush, but well enough. It's not like it's going to easily pop off or anything, but it's just held in by an easily poppable weapon. Don't get it. And then, just like the big one, it splits it apart, turn the shoulders down, and then turn the arms down like this. Equip the weapon. Mini Ricops is working with only 2 plastic colors, the black and the blue. There's no gray anywhere, which I didn't really bring much to attention, that the inner limbs are often the most noticeably color swap bits. But they're not that noticeable actually, because they're just the inner bits, and in some cases they might look like it color breaks easier. For example, I think the midi-midian might actually look a little better with the gray legs and the white crotch instead of the gray crotch and white legs. Yeah, I guess the Ricops having the blue inner arms and inner legs instead of gray, it doesn't look that bad. There's not much new paint going on in the robot mode. I mean, the chest is very nicely painted. Like, it has that yellow sheriff style star, his silver side pecs, and his silver abs. His waist area is lacking some yellow, but that's negligible. The shoulders are completely black and filled in and not quite blue. I mean, there are still some molded stars in there. But at least they're not egregiously covered by a screw hole. And his head is looking pretty spot on with his almost completely silver painted face, his orange eyes, and his yellow visor on a black head instead of a blue head. But the black head doesn't look so bad either. Articulation. Nothing at his really hollow head. Shoulder mounts in the torso. The arms go full 360 around. Double arm joints. Unlike the bigger one, which actually had a bicep swivel, which would let him do a natural elbow bend, but as it is, it's a very limited inward bend and completely full outward bend just for transformation. And as such, when this thing bicep rotated, the hands would go here, but instead they've been relocated to the side here, which is an interesting slight rearrangement of the kibble. Hands that aren't really hands, but more like weapon holes. Just like some mini Carbots of old. Weapon holes. Which in turn, I guess it does reduce that big hole on the bottom of his bumper, because that's where the twin weapons would plug in, one at the bottom of the grill and one at the top, which looked a little unsightly. 90-degree transformational knee bend, and downward big foot. The legs don't pop out that much, actually. And, yeah, Ricops can stand, but just barely, because, he really doesn't have any heels. He has big feet forward, but not much in the heels, and especially since his feet were molded in the A stance, but not the back. The back is completely flat, so that's a bit of a conflict for standing. Also, without any hinges to fold these wheels inward or outward, that really does look like ugly gibble. It's not annoyingly unstandable, but it's kind of.
Robot comparison.
Titan Master, Battle Master, Micromaster, Micromeister, Carbot, Workmate, Diarobo, Nissan, Bumblebee, Core Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Hot Rod, New Age, Crash Combiner, Mini Tobot, Yo-Jo, Mini Coon, and Legs. This is a fine Carbot Mini. It transforms in just about the same way as his bigger Ricops. Yeah, with just a few points of nitpicking. You like getting those tabs in, but otherwise it's a fine little police vehicle. It's pretty cheap. Yeah, you could just either just get all of the wave for completionist sake, or just select and pick a few of these. Like, subscribe, and next!